So I went to a local comic book show, the Clifton Comic Show in New Jersey, and I picked up some comic books. Let's see what I got and why. Up next on this video from Bronzeville Comics. Hello, panelologists. This is Jim from Bronzeville Comics coming to you with another video. Before we get started, please like, comment, subscribe. Check out the description of this video for links to my Whatnot, Instagram, eBay, store, and email. So, gonna just get into it. Clifton in New Jersey has a comic book show every month of the year. They're in a different location during the winter months because the location they use the rest of the year is a local warming center. So it's in like a preschool, basically an elementary school building that now does a preschool program. Anyway, they have it in the gym. It's a nice space. So let's take a look around the show floor.
I get invited to like arts shows and bring this stuff to arts music for inspiration. And they all have a You always expect it. Oh, yeah. Thank you. That's me. Didn't you redo that too? It's weird. Thank you. My mistake. Protein shake about online. Hey, how are you? Good, thank you.
So let's take a look at what I picked up. I picked up some books. I picked this up. Saw it standing there. I thought the price was good. This is Star Wars Darth Vader #1. This was a hot book a few years ago when the Boba Fett series came out, because the first appearance of Black Chrysanthemum has fallen quite a bit, as most books to deal with TV spec, but I think I got it for a good deal. And I think that character is still possibly going to be used at some point. Pick this up. It is a copy of Lobo #1, and we all know what that means. Jason Momoa has just been cast as Lobo in the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow movie. So that has been a hot book. I grabbed this. This is a 4th print of Ultimate Spider-Man. That's been, such a big book last year. Always at the right price, we'll grab this. Ghost Rider 15, glow-in-the-dark cover. This one, Batman $4.75. This is the first appearance of Renee Montoya, who does become the second Question in the DC universe. She is a member of Gotham City Police Department initially. She was portrayed in the Harley Quinn movie by Rosie Perez. I would say there's a decent chance we'll see her come up at some point. Then I grabbed this. This is ROM number 31. It was based on a toy. I think it has Hasbro toy. But this is the first cover and second appearance of Rogue. Tied for the second appearance. And then I grabbed this. It does have a pop-top staple, but it's a pretty nice copy of a 1962 Betty and Veronica, where Betty's in the Miss Universe contest against people from other planets. Just kind of a cool little Archie book. Then Oliver, he had his half-price books. He had some new stuff. So I dug in Batman 404, the first part of the Year One storyline by Frank Miller and Dave Mazzucchelli. Gradable candidate. That's going to go in the press pile. Same with this one, I believe. This is a newsstand copy of Secret Wars number 10, that classic Doctor Doom, or number 12, classic Doctor Doom cover. Nice foil, just a few bucks. She-Hulk 50. Then there were some adventure comics. This is a little bit lower grade. This is 303, the first appearance of Matter Eater Lad, so that's going to go in the spec pile. As is this. This is rougher. It does have, I think it's fully detached, and there's a lot of wear along the spine. It's like a 2. This is 346. This is the first story that Jim Shooter wrote, and he introduced 4 new characters right there in the front. Karate Kid, Princess Projectra, Pharaoh Lad, and Nemesis Kid. And then this was a pretty decent copy, a Neil Adams cover. This is the first appearance of Chemical King. I pick up a bunch of these Legion first appearances. Then this, I might press this. It's not going to be a 9.8, but it's got a little bit of moisture damage to it. It's Batman 426, the first part of Death in the Family storyline. Then I got this, the first appearance of Riri Williams' third print. The show is coming. That'll go in a little spec pile. Superman 300. I thought that was a good price for that milestone issue. This is a lower grade, but Mask number 1. You want, if you're looking at Mask number 1, you want the mini-series. There was an ongoing series shortly after this. This was based on a toy line at the time. That's going in a spec pile. There was talk like 3 or 4 years ago about that being optioned in some sort of movie or something. Then this is the Marvel Greatest Comics reprints of Marvel Zombies. That show is coming soon. That'll go in a little spec pile. This first part 2 of the first team up between, or first meeting. They're not really teaming up here, are they? Wolverine and Punisher. The bigger book is the previous issue, the Jim Lee cover with just Wolverine, issue number 6. Then Spidey Super Stories. It's a pretty nice copy. It features Mysterio as the villain, but also the Circus of Crime. I don't remember if there are 2 stories or 1. This is something that collectors look for, especially like folks about my age or a little bit younger that remember the show The Electric Company. It was a PBS show, and it starred Oscar winners Rita Moreno and Morgan Freeman in it. And they did have like a Spider-Man character in it, where they would kind of parrot comic book panels, and Spider-Man would talk, but it would be in the word balloons that you'd have to read. It was to teach readers. It's kind of like the graduation after Sesame Street. Sesame Street was for preschoolers. This was for emerging readers. Then G.I. Joe 43 in a newsstand. This really cool Mike Zeck cover. Ultimate Fantastic 422, first full appearance of the Marvel Zombies. Again, I said before that is coming. This I needed for the PC, and it pretty much was the only issue in the 100s that I did need. It's Green Lantern 182. John Stewart takes on the mantle of Green Lantern after a couple of cameos. And I think that's what's going to happen in the DC they have the Lanterns TV series coming up. Kyle Chandler is going to be portraying an older Hal Jordan John Stewart's going to be, 20 or 30 years younger. So folks, is this at some point there's going to be a passing of the mantle there. And then this was a cheap one. First appearance of Javelin. Javelin was in the James Gunn Suicide Squad movie. Didn't last long. And then this one is also, because of recent events, this is basically Guy Gardner becomes a full Green Lantern. Guy Gardner's history is a little bit muddled because really his first appearance in Green Lantern 59 is an imaginary story. Basically, Hal goes to one of the Guardians and said, well, what if, other things if I wasn't available, right? Or if Abensur had crashed on the east coast of the United States rather than the west coast. And they said, oh, this is what would have happened. And then he would have died. Then grab a Joker for the right price with a Scarecrow cover. And then this, I picked up a few upgrades. Justice League 104. This is probably, it's got a little piece missing out of the back and stain. I thought it was a little bit higher grade from the front cover. It's like a 7. This one is very nice. Justice League 90, a 15 center. This is, I think it's like a 9.2. This is an exceedingly clean copy. So that is probably a PC upgrade. And then this one is really nice too. It's the first appearance of Earth Prime. Basically, the JLA and the JSA, their annual team up. It includes the writers like Elliot S. Maggin and is Denny O'Neil in it. It was kind of odd, but it's probably like a 9. It's a pretty good copy. And then the next two are Justice Leagues that are gradable. A newsstand copy of 189, Brian Boland Starro cover. This was the first of the two-parter? I think this is the first of the two-parter. The one that's more popular is the one where they have the characters like just facing forward with the starfish on their faces. And then this is a really nice copy of 200. It's got a George Perez wraparound cover. It's square bound, but it is really clean. So I think those are going to go in the press pile, both of those. Then I actually was able to fill out some Action Comics. These are mid-graders, and I just wanted to contrast. So Action Comics 12 center, 369. And you see at the top, above the trade dress there, it says Superman and Supergirl in Action Comics, right? That's 369. Less than a year later, now 15 cents rather than 12, 380, it says Superman and the Legion of Superheroes. So essentially what happened in the intervening months is that Supergirl replaced the Legion as the lead feature in Adventure Comics, and then it swapped, and the Legion became the backup feature in Action Comics. So I needed those for the collection. This has some pressable defects. I'm hopeful of what I can do with it. And there's a little bit of spec behind it. It does need work. Definitely needs work, but fingers crossed. Let's see what we can do with it. It'll be a little project. Booster Gold #1 newsstand. Now, this is 1986. So newsstands are still somewhat common, but Booster Gold, I already have a 9.8 in a direct. So a newsstand would be fun to have. And then that vendor, I also couldn't pass this up. Shade the Changing Man, #1. If you watch my channel, I have like 20 copies of that. Then another vendor they only had a few short boxes, but I dug through, and for my DC 100-page Super Spectacular collection, the most difficult ones to get are the romance books. Those are really tough. And then the War. I don't even know if there were. I don't think any of the Western books did that, but missed the horror as well. This is 266. I think this is a Wrightson cover. No, there's Wrightson interior. This is not a Wrightson cover, but that's pretty cool to get that. And then same vendor, I also picked this up. This was really cool. I think this is like a 6.5. It's nice for its age. It's a 12 center. And I'm kind of jumping into this particular title. Never finish it because the first, let's say, 27 issues or 31 issues or 38 are impossible. Detective Comics, this is 315, 12 center. I think this is from 63. Yeah, 1963. And the Jungle Man of Gotham City is having the Batmobile attacked by a rhinoceros. So, yeah, that's curious. So, but it's a really nice copy. I think it's like a 6.5, only because there's a little bit of damage up at the top. Not too much, but just like little dings that maybe I'm overestimating how bad that is, but yeah, that's what I put it at. And then the final book I picked up, and this is also going to go into my clean and press pile, and it's a little bit of a project, a little bit hopeful on this one, and maybe a little bit aspirational, but it's Captain America 241, right, with the first crossover between Cap and Punisher, and it is a Frank Miller cover. So it's got those several elements going for it. This in a 9.8 is, you know, in excess of $700. And this is a decent copy. It's, I would think, you know, even before working on it, I think 9.4 at a minimum. But we'll see what we can do with it. It is such a tough 9.8. This is from January of 1980, right? So the direct market editions, the distinction between direct market and newsstand was right around May of 1979. So at this point in time, you see down there the barcode with a line through it. That was the version of the direct edition at the time for Marvel, as opposed to later on when you'd have like the Spidey head or Captain America in the box there instead of the UPC code. They just had the UPC code with a line through it, right? So, but think about it, this was in the very early days of the comic book store era, right? The direct market era. So I think kind of 1980, and this is January 1980, is kind of that cutoff, right? Of when books are more difficult to get in a 9.8 just because they weren't stored, preserved, collected the way that they would be later on. So anyway, that is the final book of the whole Captain America 241. So I have to go through and see which ones are going to go into the slab pile. As you know, I do the 4 S's: slab, save, spec, and sell. So I do have a few that are like the Detective, the House of Mystery are definitely PCs. The Actions, those are all going in the save, including all the Justice Leagues. The Justice Leagues, at the very least, are going into the save in terms of potential upgrades over what's in the PC right now. I needed one of those Green Lanterns, and a lot of the other books are going to be kind of either sell, spec, or slab. So those are the ones that I'm saving. So kind of want to balance out between books you can sell, books that potentially could grade it a 9.8 and pay for everything else, and make the books that I get free. That's kind of the goal in going to these shows. So let me know what you think of the haul. Thank you for stopping by. Just hit the thumbs up on the way out. You can take a look at a couple of my other videos here. And this is Jim saying until next time, enjoy your comics.